Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs Up here, and hopefully all is going well with you and yours. Sorry about that. Let's turn my TV off in the background so I'm not over here doing this little number. I know sometimes I get caught. I watch myself. I'm like, what are you looking at? The football game. But today, not going to be doing that. Today, we're just talking about a few things. Bowling, FAMU bowling. We have a chance. We got a chance. We got to do something. Also, we have the cross country program. They didn't quite make it, but then you have women's and men's basketball. I told you what to expect. If you listened to the Fangs Up Podcast, you knew what was coming. The volleyball program, a lot going on at the Lawson Center. I tell you what, Lawson Center is getting that work this week. Also, you have the football team. Obviously, like, come on, we got some work to do. And lastly, we have I had a question, like, inside the den. Hadn't gone inside the den lately, but question is, how can FAMU become a more attractive place for Coach Willie Simmons? How do we keep him? Because y'all heard what the irresponsible, unsupported T was, and it turned out Coach Simmons said, nah, ain't nobody talk to me. But again, that's why it's called irresponsible, unsupported, and potentially factless, baseless T. That's why I make sure I say it like that. I don't try to make it be like, oh yeah, y'all, this is the truth. I heard it. So no. That's why from the word go, I said it was factless, baseless, and irresponsible. But I wanted to at least share it with you so that you can't be like, man, well, yeah, I heard, but I ain't saying that. Nah, I heard. Sometimes I do hear stuff and I don't say nothing, but this was one of those ones where it was out there and Coach refuted it. So good things to hear, but we got to find a way to make FAMU more attractive for Coach Simmons. So, but as always, big shout outs to our sponsors, HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Obviously, this is where the show is done at, podcast is done at, and whatnot. Also, Cable Busters for $35. You can get live sports, live TV on up to 3 devices. So, just saying it's a good deal. I mean, 3 devices. Most of y'all, that's your bedroom, that's your downstairs area, and one more spot. And a lot of y'all are good. Like, I'm just going, let's just be honest. But we're gonna start off. FAMU bowling has the Sonic Boom. We got a Sonic Boom Classic there. It's gonna be in Jackson, Mississippi. Starts off tomorrow and goes through Sunday. And FAMU bowling, we got one good player, but we've been struggling this year. This year, FAMU is tied for 11th. There are 12 teams in the conference, so you do the math. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I mean, I'm not here to bag on the team or speak ill of them. I'm just speaking to what the numbers say. We're in last place. So something we got to do different there, and I'm not sure what it is. I haven't been to any of the bowling events, and I'm not a bowling aficionado. So I'm not going to sit up here and start acting like I'm some person that has all the answers as to why we're tied for last place. But I do know we're tied for last place. And when I looked at some of the events, kind of watched a little bit of them, you kind of saw where we were finishing was not in the top 5 or top 10. And you kind of want to do better. You want to be good in all sports, at least good. Very seldom, there are very few programs that are great at everything. You're going to have 1 or 2 sports that you're not good at. And that's understood. That's understandable. But tied for last, hopefully we get better. That's the big thing because you do have a bowling alley on campus. I have not been to Gallimore since they redid it when I was in college. So I'm not even gonna lie about that. But you do that's one of the few sports where you actually do have on campus facilities and other things like that. Not few, but one of the sports where they have their own bowling alley on campus. Now, how well everything's done with it, great question. That'd be a question for somebody else to answer, but I know it's there. And hopefully it's open. I know a lot of times when I was in college, they were renovating it, redoing it. It had gotten a little dated, but I mean, next time I'm home, I may have to go up there and check it out and see. And it used to be open to the public. You used to be able to get a pretty good deal to go play some games on campus. So, but tied for 11, not what you want to see. But hopefully we get better. That I'm going to say that, and that's my hope. That's my big hope because it is a step back from last year. I did see some departures, and some of those were some good players. Hopefully we can get some of them back. I'm gonna keep it there. But I'm gonna leave it there. But then you have other sports where cross country, and it's kind of I didn't see where we got anybody in the regionals, but again, cross country is not one of those sports that we really give a lot of attention to. Not the attention it probably should get, but it did bring the SWAC championships to Tallahassee, and I think that's something. Again, I asked the question, "What was the SWAC giving to us as a university?" That's something you want to continue that because Tallahassee has some good running trails. I mean, Tallahassee has great parks in general, and obviously I don't live in Tallahassee anymore. I'm from there, but I'm not just being a homer. There's some really nice parks. Tom Brown Park has a great disc golf course. I like disc golf. I'm sorry. Like, get mad at me all you want to. Ball golf is cool. I like it. I've played. I intend on getting better, but disc golf is actually I've played more disc golf than I could probably care to share. And Tom Brown Parks is really good. I've never done the park at Jack McLean just because nope, not gonna be able to do it. But and it's a really tough course. But Tom Brown is a really good course for starters, and you have quite a few really good parks just there in the city. And that's a sport that in cross country, again, hopefully we get better. Like hopefully we can continue to do and get better with that. So mentioning getting better though, we're gonna talk about these basketball teams real quick. FAMU went down to UF, the women's team, and they caught a massive L. Turnovers were the big thing of the game, about 28, almost 30 turnovers. But if you look at this year's team compared to last year's team, there is some hope. We look better. Like we had a couple players who were some scorers. But again, the team's pretty new. I mean, even when you listen to the commentators, and I did watch the game. I'm more apt to watch FAMU women's basketball at the beginning of the season, just because I kind of want to figure out, see what we got going on, like see what Coach Pillow is working with, and even the commentators are like, "Yo, y'all, kind of like curve your expectations because this is her third year, but this is her second year actually coaching. Like we lost that year to COVID. Then you had last year happen where everything happened, and we've already talked about that because." Honestly, the podcast kind of started during basketball season last year. So if you've been here, you know what's up. But this year, I'm expecting some things. Like coming out of that game, I don't expect us to defeat the UFs, the Florida States of the world. I don't. And UF and Florida State have good basketball teams. I'm not just saying them because they're part of the state university system with FAMU. Nay. I am saying that because those are really good programs. And those are programs that, honestly, I hope we keep on the schedule. Y'all already know how I feel about FAMU and FSU. We should play in as many sports as possible just for the simple purpose of saving travel dollars. But I digress. But at the same point, I don't think Coach Pillow is going to have a great season. Like, I just can't. Like, oh, UIL state football. Okay. I'm not going to make that, but I don't know what that is. But, like, just being honest, like, you kind of have to be real about what this is and what's going to be going on, because like it's it's a really a second year program. She's in her second year. I mean, yeah, third, but you got a pretty new team. Like, give them a chance to gel. And I think this is irresponsible. And y'all know if I'm being irresponsible and speculating, I'll tell you so. Irresponsibly, FAMU women's basketball may end up with a better schedule than the men at the end of the season. One, because of the schedule they're playing. The men's schedule is just stupid hard. But the women's basketball schedule ain't full of no slouches, but you got some, I feel like you have more winnable games. And you have a really nice talent acquisition this year. I mean, I personally feel like the women's basketball team is going to do some things that is going to turn some heads. I don't know if it saves Coach Pillow's job at the end of the day, but I do feel like she's fighting with one hand behind her back, but good God help you if you get in her punching range, she's gonna knock you the hell out. Like I think she's got a chance. I'm just saying, I think we get in the SWAC play. You might be surprised that this team actually finishes in the top 4. It's coming from last year's debacle of a season. You could actually have a pretty good basketball season next year. So we're going to see FAMU's also going to play the University of South Florida in Tampa. That game's upcoming. And again, this is kind of that beginning of the season, that murderer's row where you play games early, you play tough competition. But this is a game that I'm not going to say it's winnable, but it's more winnable. Like, it's more winnable than some of the other games. That game is against USF is tomorrow at 6. Ooh, dang. We'll see. We shall see if my plans fall through. Coach Pillow, I might be looking at you. I'm just saying. Not making any promises, but I do have plans to be in Tampa tomorrow. And yeah, I might pull up. And I don't mind paying for a ticket. But yeah, so I'll let y'all know. If I do, you'll see some pictures on the FQ Family Twitter page and whatnot. But the men's basketball game, man, men's basketball took some L's, and I told you they were going to take some L's. Like, seeing people on social media fussing and complaining and griping, and they're like, why are we losing games? Why is the men's basketball team doing so bad against Portland and Oregon? And you lost so much of your good players. Like, you lost a lot of talent. You lost your top scorer, who was really the catalyst for the offense. Like, your primary player for the basketball team left. Decided, like, I'll try the G League instead of coming back. Like, and you're not mad at MJ for doing that, but you have to realize the void of what you lost. You lost MJ, Keith Littles, Moraine. Like, you lost really 3-4 of your best players, and you're bringing them in and you're replacing them. You're not going to go to Oregon and win that game. It was an 80-45 loss. And then today we lost to the University of Portland 91-54. And folks are like, well, that's a team that's a conference where only one team wins it. It's Gonzaga. Yeah. You know, those types of teams. Like, but again, we're not a good basketball program. Like, you may have good coaches. You have decent players, but they haven't come together. They this is really new. It's not like, but it's different. FAMU basketball has not been a consistently good product for a long time. Last year was the first year where we actually looked like this is worth paying money to watch. Just being honest. Like, once football season was over, for me, it was like, well, when's softball starting? Because at least they're going to win. All right, softball, baseball, football. Those are the only sports that you kind of went to. And then just because of the way volleyball lays out, it's not always convenient to go to the games. But outside of those 4 sports, FAMU hadn't been great in a lot of sports in a long time. I mean, we used to be really good in track. We're not there anymore. Again, FAMU men's basketball hasn't been a consistently good product since Robert Gillespie, probably. I mean, you got a few coaches that kind of come in and come out, and you feel how you feel about them. I mean, catch me in the street and I'll tell you how I feel about it. But I don't want to offend some people today. But at the same point, FAMU basketball, it ain't been it for a long time. Last year was the first season FAMU basketball was it. And this season, it's not going to be a pretty end of season record. I'm just going to be honest. And unless this team really changes and comes together in a mighty way, mighty fast, you're really depending on the conference season just to put out a record that looks like you did something, because you're playing some heavyweights. I mean, you're playing a lot of heavyweights this season, and you're a featherweight team. Like, you're punching outside of your weight class, trying to, one, fund the program, but two, next year be able to say, hey, we play the likes of this team and that team to potentially, do you get recruits off of that? And that's a question. It's not an answer, and it's not an indictment on the program. Again, I'm not being critical of the program. I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I don't like to be one of those people who likes to come up here and wear orange and green this and orange and green cups and orange drinks, and I'm not going to do that. To be honest with you, FAMU basketball hadn't been really good in a long time, and beginning of the season, we're going to take L's. If you want to improve the program, give Coach McCullum some resources. Give Coach Pillow some resources. But don't gripe about the program and what it's not when the majority of us aren't really donating to it. We're not helping to build the program. I mean, I saw, like a lot of y'all saw, homecoming FAMU brought in millions of dollars. That money went to the FAMU Foundation. That didn't go to athletics. I mean, if you want it to go to athletics, earmark it for athletics. I'll be honest with y'all. We got Thanksgiving coming. And like I said, tomorrow, I just happen to, be blessed, and somebody offered me a chance to do something in Tampa that I'm going to do. But, I mean, yeah. I'm just being honest about that one. When it comes to some of this, and I didn't want to slow down my feed, and I don't want to accidentally call my wife, but if I'm there, I'm supporting. Like, if I get a chance and I can show up and be there, I'm gonna be there, y'all. Like, we have to get out of this habit of I only want to support the teams that are winning. And I'm guilty of doing it too in my younger days. At this point, I don't care anymore. If you're in my vicinity and I can make it and it's feasible, I'll be there. So yeah, FAMU women's tomorrow at 6. I'll see. I might try to be there. Might try and pull up. But again, like, it's if it's feasible for you, do what's feasible and responsible for you. But don't come up here complaining to the coaches when you're not putting anything in their back pocket. You ain't if all I'm gonna do is fuss about what's going on, but I'm not gonna contribute, I don't have a leg to stand on. Again, I'm a member of the Alumni Association. I fuss and complain about FAMU stuff. Athletically, I hadn't done anything since the summer. I donated in the summer, I think. I might not have. But still, I donated to history. Sorry. So I'm going to do something for probably baseball. Probably do something. I'll join my dad's baseball team this year. So, yeah, 40 years out, end of the month, I'm giving to FAMU baseball. It may be nothing but $25, but I'm going to give something to FAMU baseball. Why? That's just where my heart is right now. So pick a program. That's what I'm going to say. But if basketball is your frustration and you're mad that we're losing, give coach the money. And they're not paying me to say that, obviously. But donate, support. Like, give them something, because they got Oregon State on Friday. And if you've noticed, they've gone up and down and stayed in the state of Oregon for a reason. And so Oregon State's tomorrow, probably gonna be another loss, 9:00 tip off. Again, you know what to expect. Will they compete? Yes. The FAMU men's team will compete. Like, they're not going out there just laying down. They're not a bunch of bums. They're not a bunch of scrubs. they're not. They're just coming together and they're playing really tough competition. Like they're not coming out there with the mindset of we're gonna get beat. You can see that in them. It's just the game happens. You're playing against some really talented guys. You got talent too, but it's been a minute. EA puts in here. Thank you, EA. EA puts just remember, FAMU basketball was the only true Division I sport that FAMU had for 25 years. Football's always been Division II, 1A, FCS level. Yes, I can contend with that. FAMU basketball, FAMU baseball too. They've been up there as well. But I don't normally separate us when people do hit us with the "Are we D1" thing. Yeah, we D1. We are. I mean, but I yeah, you're right, EA. But yeah, FAMU basketball though, it's been a minute. But now the Lawson Center, whoa, the poor Lawson Center. I'm gonna get a quick break in here. Going to let HBCU Digital throw out some comments and some notifications. But after that, we're gonna talk about, man, that poor Lawson Center gonna be looking like that little lady in the Popeyes meme. This is the Fangs Up Podcast.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, we're back. We're back. The Lawson Center is about to get some work though, y'all. Like, man, this tropical storm hurricane, the winds have been blowing. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't go outside that, and I have not left the confines of my house. And as far as I've gone is the garage. Like, I can see the winds. I can see the effects of the winds. Let me say that. The water's choppy, the trees are blowing, but yeah, it's a no-go for me about this going outside for the next day or so. Well, until tomorrow. But we have a player of the week, Brooklyn Watts again. Like, man, she is FAMU. If you look at the SWAC player of the week, there's always one rattler in there. She was a player of the week, and FAMU got a win over Alabama A&M. So we lost to Alabama State, but then we turned around and beat Alabama A&M 3-0. We got Jackson State next. That's going to be tomorrow. Man, tomorrow. Woo. 6 o'clock. Man, good luck, Josh. I don't know how you're going to cover all them sports. He's our sports information director. Josh is awesome. That's going to be at the Lawson Center. And again, Lawson Center is going to get a lot of work, y'all. And after that, we get Mississippi Valley. That's going to be on November 12th at 1 o'clock. And all these and more are going to be on the Rattler Sports Network. And the Rattler Sports Network is going to get some work. And honestly, I think the SWAC, you might have backed into a really good idea. I'm just saying, you might have backed your way into a good idea. Maybe having like clusters of games at one time might not be a bad idea. Like, you got BCU versus Valley. That's also going to be on Saturday. Rattler Sports Network. Again, the Jackson State versus FAMU. That's going to be on the Rattler Sports Network. The Mississippi Valley State game versus FAMU on the Rattler Sports Network, and Jackson State and BCU, again, Rattler Sports Network. You are getting a lot of sports on the Rattler Sports Network, and they're not all FAMU. And honestly, the SWAC might have backed into a really good idea, though. Like, maybe Prairie View, Texas Southern do this from time to time, because you're both in Houston. Have teams that just come there, and one time you go to Prairie View, another time you go to Texas Southern, 4 games, 2 days. I'm just saying. I mean, the refs would be kind of tired, but it's not a bad idea. Might actually save some resources and some funds. So I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I can't be the only person that sees that opportunity to maximize resources. So how can you watch the Bama State game Saturday? It is on. Ooh, I'm going to go to the Alabama State website because you know I'm petty. It's on. I think it's online. I'm gonna look it up real quick. And I noticed my camera's sliding. So the question was, and I too am in Central Florida. Um, bro, please tell me and others how we can watch the game. And I will say, one of my critiques of that we kind of don't always do very well. We don't always post where the games can be seen at on our own sources. We normally do pretty good, but it's not always on there. Like for this one on the website, it doesn't say, it just says Rattler Sports Network, but it's actually on a actual TV network. So this ain't great podcasting, but my family's going to ask me the same question. And so this game, it is going to be on the Rattler Sports Network, which means it should be on Facebook, but we're actually picked up by an actual TV network for this game. So let's see, experience it live. Where's the TV thing? Yeah. Because even on Alabama, it says WFSA. So right now, all I got is for you is the Rattler Sports Network, but there's got to be a better answer than that. I don't have that in front of me because I tried to pull it up. I want to say it was like HBCU League Pass or something, but I could be wrong. Don't get me the line on that one. Because it's not going to be on the ESPN networks. It is supposed to be Rattler Network, but yeah. So when I find out, I'll post on the FQ FAMU Twitter page and the Fangs Up Podcast Twitter page. EA, I will do that after the show. But on offense, Alabama State's offense seems to be kind of finding their stride, and you're gonna have to watch it online, though. I'm pretty sure, though. I hate to tell you that, though. On the computer, but Alabama State's offense has seemed to be finding a stride. Like if you look consistently, the amount of points they've scored per game has been around that 20 area. Beginning of the season, they struggled a little more. They seem to be getting more comfortable. Probably going to be a team that kind of runs the ball a little bit more. I think the quarterback's getting more comfortable, though. And that's one of the problems. As I mentioned for the Southern game, one of my concerns was the quarterback's mobile. Can we stop him? Can we slow him down? Can we keep him in check? For the most part, we did. But at the same point, we didn't, because that quarterback was running all over the field. And man, Southern, if y'all could just change those number colors, it would help all of us who were trying to spot the game. I was one of those. I was just like, can't read this. But yeah, it was hard to read them jersey numbers. But again, we couldn't control that kid as far as like, he was a great runner. He's a terrible passer. That dude could not hit the broadside of a barn in that game, and it helped us win the game. Honestly, I thought Southern was going to really try to throw over the top. They had a 6'4" receiver that they didn't properly utilize, in my opinion, but that's none of my business because I'm a FAMU fan. But we'll see. Alabama State, I think the big thing in this is going to be, can we slow them down? Because their offense isn't prolific, but they're consistent and they're steady and they stay on their schedule. And we have to find a way to interrupt that. And on defense, we have to score another race to 30. I told y'all, I said it last week. Whoever scores 30 points in the Southern game is going to win. This is another one of those games. First team to 30 should win. I don't know. And FAMU, that was our third game this season scoring 30 points. Might have been our third. Yeah. So this is going to be another game. You got to score 30. And you got to stay on schedule. So my keys to the game are, FAMU on defense, you got to limit turnovers. I mean, offense, sorry. Offense, limit turnovers. We had 1 turnover last game. Other than that, we were solid. Like, that threw off your pace, threw off your schedule just a bit. But other than that, we were good. Like, we were solid. Also, stay on schedule. Again, and Coach Simmons hinted at it during his interview. FAMU's offense, we do better when we stay on schedule. That's any offense, though. When you are, hey, third and short, this and that, again, stay on schedule. Make the play calls simple for the coaches. Because when Musa has to throw, for 3rd and 15. Yeah, he can do it. I'm not saying he can't do it, but it reduces the number of plays that you have available to you, opposed to 3rd and short. Man, the playbook's open. And then if it's 3rd and short and you miss it, hey, you might go for 4th down. And penalties. We got to limit the penalties. We did really good last game. We had 4 penalties. Should have been 3. One penalty was just hey, I need to give Fadul more space, or I want to give. I don't think you need to give Fadul much. Fadul that's my dude. But you wanted to give Fadul some more space to kick the ball. That's cool. But you had 3 penalties for 30 yards, 4 penalties for 35 officially. But okay, I'm cool with that. I got no problem with that. And again, ball security. You got to protect the ball on all sides of the field, because we saw at Grambling what happened when special teams didn't protect the ball. Defensively, we got to interrupt their ball security, but offensively protect the ball, run the ball. And as Coach Simmons talked about, even when you're coming off the field, don't put the ball on the ground, because Coach Simmons said he's gonna keep you. You're gonna ride the bench if the ball's on the ground, even if the play is over, and because you're giving refs a chance to make a mistake. And for the most part, the refs are friendly people. I've been able to, pregame, say hi to a ref, welcome them, welcome to brag, all that kind of stuff. None of them have been like, man, why are you talking to me? They're all been like, oh, hey, how's it going? I don't try to make small talk, just trying to be Southern. I'm Southern. But don't in situations like that, don't give people options, because when you give people options, they make mistakes. Force them to do what you want them to do. If you want the ref to do what you want them to do, play the game clean. If you don't want the ref throwing a flag, don't give him a reason to throw a flag. Appreciate the like. Don't give the ref a chance to make a mistake. And because when you create mistakes and when you're getting silly fouls, all of a sudden, one silly foul becomes something else for them to look for. Don't do that. Be responsible. Face mask may happen every once in a while. That's an effort penalty. It's a frustrating penalty, but it's an effort penalty. Pass interference. If you're beat, wear it. It's cool. Okay. I'd rather take a pass interference penalty than for you to give up a 50-yard bomb. Okay. Holding. Again, that could be an effort penalty as well. But the foolish penalties are the ones that the unnecessary roughness, the late hits, the post game, you said something about somebody's mama, and all of a sudden you call them the N-word. Y'all know the rest are supposed to throw flags when you say the N-word. That kind of stuff, that's egregious. That's the stuff that costs you games, and that keeps the team in the game. Don't do that. Play smart, play wise, and take advantage of the fact that, man, we are going to have a contingency at this game. I'm not sure if you've noticed, this game might sell out. And there are a lot of FAMU buses that are going to the games. Some buses include ticket packages. The National Alumni Association, I don't know if theirs is sold out yet, but they have a tailgate and seating package where you get to sit in the FAMU allotted section, and you get a little pregame tailgate thing. They got 3 levels. First 2 levels, you get refreshments or whatever. The bottom level, you just get a ticket. Just saying, this is going to have a decent FAMU crowd, because Montgomery's 3 hours from Tallahassee. So it's not a terrible ride. It's not too far from Atlanta, too. Both are, obviously Tallahassee, but both are places with pretty decent size FAMU alumni bases. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of orange and green, because we saw what happened last year when we played Alabama A&M. We had about as many fans as they did. Respectfully, I'm not that was not me. I'm not sneak dissing. I'm just honest. I know I'm petty, but I'm not that kind of petty. Big thing though, man, and I'm gonna get to the recruiting stuff later, but on another episode. But in recruiting, we got to recruit Coach Simmons, or his predecessor, or the next person. Because we saw where this week the reckless, irresponsible, unsupported tea was that Coach Simmons would be offered by USF, or was a candidate for the USF football job. And you still see some people kind of putting it out there that are, USF fans and that may have a familiarity with Coach Simmons, but he stated he hasn't been contacted. His agent hasn't been contacted, and that's cool. But at a certain point, we have to invest in our program so that he or other coaches want to be here. One of the things, to me, the cheapest way to do that is to get analysts. Your going rate for an analyst is about $30,000. And that's not an HBCU number. University of Alabama's analysts are making $30,000. So you're not, if you're going to offer the head coach $100,000, that's a good thing. That's great. Coach Simmons would be deserving if you look at his record. But you could also hire 3 analysts for that. I'm just saying, 3 analysts, or all of a sudden, if you can get 3 analysts to come in and to work in Tallahassee, they're going to like it. It's a small town and very family-centered, especially if you're in the right neighborhood. But all of a sudden, that creates opportunities for new coaches, younger coaches that have been fired to kind of come in and work under Simmons. But then that also allows you to create a feeder system for your coaching program, because all of a sudden you've taken some of the stress off of the head coach. You've also, when an assistant leaves you, you have a pool of assistants that can readily come in and fill the void. So that's just me, forward thinking ahead. But then also have a short list of coaches for every program. Every program, you should have 3 to 5 coaches that you would say, in a perfect world, I want this guy. If things happen, I want that guy. I don't know if we're there. And I think that showed its head in the athletic director search, because I have confidence in our athletic director. I'll say this. A lot of the naysayers I hear are naysaying because she's a lady. I mean, honest. A lot of the naysayers I hear is not, I don't know if this person can do it. I don't know if that woman can do it. I'm not that kind of sexist, because what you're doing ain't been working, and it's been dudes. So what's to say that she can't do it because she's a female? Just saying. And she has a background in compliance with it, which is a weakness of yours. Fundraising isn't a problem for FAMU. Allocation of funds, that's a problem, because we can fundraise with the best, but allocating it and putting it in the right places is a problem. We don't properly allocate for our athletics. I'm with you. I agree that the foundation should get millions, because those go right back to the students. I'm here for that all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But at a certain point, we also have to go and say, let me allocate for athletics as well. Again, I'm going to hold myself accountable. And I might even do it at the end of the episode. FAMU baseball, I'm going to send them a hot 25. It's not a bunch of money. Some of y'all blow $25 on stuff you shouldn't, that you wouldn't tell your friend, your mom, or your preacher, or your wife that you spend $25 on. You could definitely, don't buy that. Don't spend it on that embarrassing product. Give it to FAMU. I'm choosing baseball. So baseball is this month. That's what I'm giving to. I'm not promising every month, but this month, before the end of November, I will give FAMU baseball some cash. Chroma, like flies. Chroma, I'm going to pick a different program. So 2 months, we're going to do a little something for both. But that being stated, like, pick a program, support them, and then complain about it. Because then all of a sudden you have a vested interest. Even if it's your $25, hey, that can buy a bucket. That can buy some baseballs. They don't have to do the groundwork anymore as bad like they used to. So it can do something. Buy a pack of Gatorade. But we have to do something as an athletic program to entice our coaches to want to stay, more so than them having family ties and other things like that. Because I'm with you when you're complaining about what you see on the football field and some of the decisions. But at the same point, man, when it gets tough and it gets tight, you're asking coaches to coach, parent, and be academic advisors. At a certain point, they meet their limits. And when other schools come knocking, the coach is going to do the same thing you and I do. Somebody offered me $100,000 to do the same job I do now, I'm taking it because it's a raise. And if I do well there and somebody offers me 300, I'm going to take that. You're going to keep seeking promotions. We got to stop expecting our coaches not to do the same. So, but I'm going to let y'all get off. I know BJ Jones is supposed to be doing his thing. I'm going to jump on there in a little bit, check them out, see what's going on. But as always, y'all, this is Fangs Up Podcast. Thank y'all for checking in. Like I told y'all, I'll let y'all know about the Saturday. I'll probably do a Saturday post game, but wifey and I do have something planned. I've been out of town quite a bit. I will be out tomorrow. Hopefully, if I'm not with family in the city of Tampa, I'm gonna catch that FAMU basketball game. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna stroll through there and just pay the ticket at this point. I ain't gonna try to get no credentials. Just pay the price and get some pictures and have some fun and just be a fan for a night. So, as always, y'all, though, big shout out to HBCU Digital Network, Cable Busters. Herb Seward's supposed to be going tomorrow. So check out Herb on his Twitter space. He's going to be doing that at, I believe, 6 o'clock. I'll double check. But follow Herb on Twitter. And great dude. He is one of the Black Techies, leader of the Black Techies. That's also here on HBCU Digital Network. As always, y'all, though, it will be the Fangs Up Podcast. And it's always going to be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.